Hello, my name is Sophia Scheibler, and I am one of the students in Dr. Fisher's curatorial class. And I want to thank you all for attending our exhibition on Matthew Baumgardner. I believe that I can speak on behalf of all the students in Dr. Fisher's Art 274 class when I say that this has been one of the most unique and hands-on experiences that we've had at Furman. We embarked on our journey by learning about the historical context and inspiration for Baumgardner's art, and we were quickly immersed in his life and his artistic journey. We were then tasked with conducting individual research on Baumgardner and organizing different sections of the exhibition. This hands-on experience is a true testament to the scope of the Furman Advantage. This class has been unlike any other in its instruction as well as its product, which we are proud and excited to present to you today. On behalf of the class, I would like to thank everyone who has enhanced the experience of this course and this exhibition, starting with Dr. Fisher, who has gone above and beyond to give her students the most immersive and holistic experience possible, not to mention in the unprecedented circumstances of a pandemic. We would also like to thank the executor of Matthew Baumgardner's estate, Ms. Riley Murphy, the Associate Director of the Art Department, Ms. Marta Lanier, the Associate Director for Special Collections, Mr. Jeff McCullough, and all of our guest lecturers, Ms. Diane Eisminger, Mr. James Fisher, Mr. Steve Gamler, and Ms. Serena Bocchino. Thank you again for joining us today, and without further ado, here's our classmate Lily to present to you the exhibition.
Good evening, my name is Lily. Welcome to Furman University's exhibition of Matthew Baumgardner Grids and Glyphs. Our class, Curatorial Practices and Issues, directed by Dr. Diane Fisher, has spent this semester organizing this exhibit. All the items that are on display have been generously lent by the artist's estate. Tonight, you will hear each of the students recount Baumgardner's life and art. Our exhibition is organized on a timeline of Baumgardner's life. The 8 students were partnered and assigned a time period. One student from each of the pairings will speak tonight on the importance and influence of their section. In the first section, Baumgardner's early life from 1955 to 1982, we have the works Frozen Fantasy, Composition number 240, The Mountain and Evening of Rubies, and Warm Silence. In our second section, New Inspirations in New York, we have number 35, Snow Waters, 3 Dead Spaniards, Les Demoiselles 2, and Climbing Heaven Slowly. In our third section, NEA Awards and Windows in the Sky, we have the works Tropical Langora number 2, number 134, Song of Solomon, Tears of God number 1, Windows in the Sky number 48, and Sacred Trance number 4. In our fourth and final section of Traveler's Rest, we have Relentless Variation, Inner Sanctum, Coral Reef, and a Simic Oracle. Beneath Coral Reef, we have installed one of Baumgardner's drop cloths and 4 of his paint cans because we want viewers to see how he painted on the floor. In the center of the room, we have one of his sculptures, Cube number 9. Baumgardner kept extensive notes throughout his life, writing down quotes, thoughts, jokes, etc. that intrigued or amused him. In this corner, we have hung copies of some of these notes.
Hi, my name is Mercy, and I'm going to be talking about Matthew Baumgardner's life and work from 1955 to 1982. Baumgardner was born in Columbus, Ohio, and he experienced frequent moving around very early in his life due to his father's job. One of those places was Bernardsville, New Jersey, where he loved to play in nature and had exposure to elements of which he would use themes in later works of his. He attended Bob Jones University for his undergraduate degree in art education, and this is where he painted Frozen Fantasy. His next pieces, Warm Silence and The Mountains and Evening of Rubies, warm up significantly in color but maintain that geometric structure. If you look closely at the paintings, you can see textured lines made with graphite. This brighter painting, composition number 240, he painted while he was attending UNC Chapel Hill in the early 80s. It's a clear transition from the warmer colors to some brighter ones that we'll encounter later on in his work.
Hello, my name is Adair Taylor, and I will be talking about Baumgardner's 1983 to 1992 period, which we called New Inspirations in New York. At the age of 28, Baumgardner moved to New York City and stayed in the Northeast until 2006, and he had 14 solo shows and more than 30 group exhibitions during this time. At the beginning, he lived in a condemned building in Brooklyn with a roommate, Dan Wofford, a fellow artist who you see here in this picture. And it was during New York's art boom of the 1980s that Baumgardner developed his voice as a neo-expressionist artist and painted with bright colors and bold, angular gestures. And it was very in tune with the times. Here we have Climbing Heaven Slowly, which exhibits this and shows how he also still included his original inspirations of his spirituality and nature, as well as incorporating early 20th century artists in his work.
Hi, my name is Rebecca Fulford, and I will be talking about Matthew Bumgardner's art from 1993 to 2004. Matt lived in New York in the late 90s and early 2000s. He was inspired greatly by the grid-light layout of the city and incorporated it into his artwork. He transitioned from focusing on the element of fire to the elements of rain and snow. He portrayed these elements as seen through windows. Matt was greatly influenced by the events of September 11th, 2001. He painted images of windows through 2004, and his art visibly changed after 9/11 to include works that showed buildings on fire. Throughout his childhood, Matt moved from place to place, but found a common love of nature, which is shown throughout his work and even incorporated into his materials called mud. In 2004, he returned to the glyph in his work. Inspired by the lives of his young children, he painted with brighter colors and playful geometric shapes. Thank you.
Hello all, I hope you're having a good evening. My name is Brandon, and I'll be talking about Baumgardner's life and work from the years 2005 to 2018. In 2006, Baumgardner moved to Travelers Rest, South Carolina, which represented his return to Greenville County. 3 years later, he built a live-in studio. This became a sanctuary for the production of the artist's work. He quickly became popular in the local art scene, showcasing 63 works at the Greenville County Museum of Art in 2011 in an exhibition titled Matt Baumgardner, Made for Another World. The works in this section explore the actions of automatic drawing, meditation, and seeking hidden knowledge or messages. Take Asemic Oracle number 8, for example, a painting which utilizes window-like shapes and autonomous glyphs to capture the sense of mystery or a hidden message. Thank you all, and I hope you enjoy the exhibition.
Hi, my name is Michaela, and I'll be discussing Baumgardner's piece titled Coral Reef from 2016. Matt Baumgardner had his hip replaced in early 2015 and took some time to focus on his 2D pieces while he recovered. After his surgery, Coral Reef was the first mud painting he had done since his surgery, since these were typically heavier because of the layering. To make it easier on his hip, these larger works were painted horizontally on cans of paint. For this painting, he was inspired by the Caribbean because he had vacationed there with his family before. Through this work, he wanted to represent tropical colors and the kinetic energy of the Caribbean islands. The chosen colors include shades of magenta, teal, and cobalt, sealed by a varnish that gives it a glossier surface. Baumgardner found this piece to be a challenge, but he was also mesmerized and uplifted by it.
After learning about the artwork in the gallery, you will be taken outside to the vitrines where we have displayed some of Baumgardner's tools and materials. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoy our exhibition.
Hi everyone, I'm Gracie. I'll be discussing the objects we've chosen to be displayed in the vitrines. The objects displayed in the vitrines show a glimpse into the artistic and personal life of Matt Baumgardner. The objects are from Baumgardner's live-work studio in Traveller's Rest. Baumgardner's spirit can be seen in the remains of the articles in which he once used frequently, such as the shoes he'd wear to paint in, the mud for his mud paintings, and also his dirt from the property which he'd use in his work.